What's up, Space Pirates? This is your Admiral, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster. And before we get into the news about what the absolute jackwagons at Ubisoft have decided to say, I just thought it would be fun, real quick, to take another gander at their stock prices and...
Oh, dear God, no!
The consequences of Ubisoft's actions are upon that dogshit company right now. The other day when I talked about this, when I discussed how Ubisoft's stock value has absolutely plummeted, they've lost over 30% of their value since the year began, and considering they were low to begin with, that ain't good. But when I brought this up, naturally, there were a shit ton of jackasses arguing in the comment section about how this isn't a fair analysis because of the tariffs that are taking place right now, and when I mentioned that actually the bulk of Ubisoft's losses took place before the tariffs in the United States began, they generally got pretty quiet. And now, let me show you this. Yesterday, Grums on X noticed that the whole market went up, but not Ubisoft.
I'm ruined. I have nothing left.
You have done that yourself!
Case in point, for anyone who doesn't understand how Ubisoft got to this stage where they are circling down the toilet, one of the biggest blunders that they made in the recent past is this right here, telling gamers that they want us to be comfortable not owning our games. This was a monumental mistake used as a rallying cry by gamers over the past year or so, turned into countless memes and repeated in countless replies to trailers and videos as we expressed our frustration with this wretched company and reminded each other not to buy their buggy, unpolished, propagandistic shit like Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows. I don't know about you guys, but I have been very comfy not owning any Ubisoft games, and I've been very comfortable watching them dig themselves deeper into the hole of their own making.
Hey, what's that you got on your face?
Huh?
See how that works?
Well, despite all the shit that they're in right now, it seems like Ubisoft still hasn't learned their damn lesson. They haven't learned that gamers don't like this shit because they are doubling down. They initially told us this very unfortunate line when they were talking about gamers being upset that they were shutting down the servers to the crew and removing it from people's libraries on Steam. Basically, there's no offline mode at all, and there's no way to play this game for people who paid good money for it, and now they've basically doubled down and said, yup, this is what we still believe, you should get comfortable not owning our games. They, along with all the automatons who follow them blindly over at Ubisoft, are completely out of touch.
Kneel before Zod!
You just don't get it, do you? You don't.
Alright me hearties, make sure you hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, and also, please consider supporting the channel by becoming a member. Audiobook of a dark fantasy novel I've written will be available for members first very soon, and it will also be available for sale on Amazon soon. You see, it's important that we not just talk about what we don't like, we have to contribute things we do like. So, I humbly ask that you consider supporting this venture by becoming a member of the channel. But anyhow, let's dive into this Ubisoft situation and see what the dummies at the company have said now. Nintendo has been in hot water for the past week, especially after the president of Nintendo of America told us that if you can't afford the Switch 2, then buy the Switch 1. I compared what he said to this line from Ubisoft, where they told us to get comfortable not owning our games. I thought that these were comparable lines in how damaging they are to customer relations, but I gotta say, with Ubisoft doubling down on this shit and saying that they still believe it, well, there's just no comparison, is there? Ubisoft really is in a league of its own. Most of these other game studios have learned to shut up after running into these big controversies. Take Obsidian as an example. This past fall, a few developers of Avowed, the most recent Obsidian game, they said some stupid political shit that pissed a lot of people off, which was accompanied by an in-game decision which a lot of us disliked, but they shut their social media presence down in response to all of this. Somebody at the company told them all to clamp down and shut up, and the controversy was allowed to peter out at least a little bit. Obviously, the best thing to do would be to avoid the controversies in the first place, but at least Obsidian knew better than to keep talking. But Ubisoft? They haven't learned that lesson. This article from Rock Paper Shotgun gives us the lowdown. You never owned the game, insist Ubisoft to the Crew players that are suing the publisher. Ubisoft's lawyers have responded to a legal action from players of defunct racing game The Crew by insisting that those players never owned the game in the first place. The players made their lawsuit to complain about the game being made unplayable when servers were shut down last year, but Ubisoft have now responded to argue that the game was only licensed to those playing, and players should never have expected the game to be usable in perpetuity. Ubisoft's legal team made the argument in a motion to have the case dismissed, as seen by Polygon. The Crew's ordinary intended purpose was to provide consumers with a revocable limited license to access its content pursuant to the unmistakable warnings on the product packaging and Ubisoft's term of use, reads part of the filing. Plaintiffs received just that for years, and Ubisoft therefore provided the Crew consistent with and fit for its ordinary advertised purpose. First of all, let me take this opportunity to once again recommend to everyone that you buy physical copies of games whenever possible. Physical media is king, though admittedly, you can still run into this issue even with physical discs these days if you purchase live service stuff. But all that aside, I'm not sure what the cost is to maintain the servers to play The Crew, but for now, if I were Ubisoft, I would absolutely not make this argument that they're making in a court of law, doubling down on this very unpopular position with gamers. It is adding fuel to a fire that has been burning down their business. For right now, they could use some goodwill from gamers, and adding The Crew back to the players' libraries is one way to achieve that. If I were them, I'd find a way to give people an offline mode that they can play. But the thing is, they won't, because their long play truly is to have everyone essentially rent games and never own anything. So they can't relent on this point, or it derails their long-term plans. But it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario, because in the short term, they are struggling mightily, and players have largely lost trust in this company, and they might actually go bankrupt if things don't turn around soon. The thing is, I know a lot of gamers out there who love to go back to old favorites and replay them, maybe earning their platinum trophy or something like that. But if Ubisoft is shutting this shit down after just a decade, rendering a game unplayable, that destroys a particular way of life for many gamers that we've taken for granted before all this live service shit seeped into the industry like a toilet backing up. I'm sure they've done their cost-benefit analysis on whether or not to fight this lawsuit, whether or not to develop an offline mode for The Crew and to make it playable for people who purchased it in the first place. But I've got to say, the timing of fighting this right now isn't great for Ubisoft. They continue to look like what they are, weaselly and out of touch with normal people. But I'm going to leave it there. Drop your contempt for this practice into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.